Shinosphere of all the eyes, Mr. Abhyuday Jindal, Mr. Dr. Mohan Yelisetti, who has joined online, Mr. S.K. Chaurasia, Mr. A.K. Mukherjee, and Professor B.K. Mishra, who was moderating the session, and all the dignitaries of the days. There is a very beautiful word in national mineral policy. It's known as mineral conservation, and very aptly defined that mineral conservation should not be seen as a preservation or its abstinence. Rather, it should be seen in a very positive manner, either augmenting the resources through discovery, through beneficiation, or through mining methods. And many of the people in the industry are working towards it. It reminds me one of the story of a person who was from the indigenous tribe, resides in Jajpur district. Once upon a time, he came to his native place on a holiday, and while he was traveling or passing his time in the holiday period, he came upon a very shiny piece of stone. He took that stone to an R&D lab in Jamshedpur, and those researchers, they did work on that stone and came out that this is chromite. In 1950s, the process started, and 1960, chromite mining started. In 1989, the miners realized that there are a lot of low-grade ore which is not being realized. So 1989, they collaborated with MDL, Mineral Deposits Limited of Australia, and beneficiation started. Why I brought the chromite story here? Because if you see the coal mining, it started somewhere in 1774 by Hunman and Hitley of East India Company. And chromite mine started in 1960s and beneficiation started in 1989. The journey from discovery to beneficiation and further upgradation was very fast compared to other minerals in India. I'm not casting aspersion on coal mining people, but then the point what I'm making, there are many factors which made the chromite mining to faster moving towards the beneficiation. And it also reminds me one of the shlok, that amantram aksharam nasti, nasti mulanam ausadam, ayogya purusha nasti, yojaka tatra durlabha. There is no letter from where a mantra or shlok cannot start. There is no plant which doesn't have a medicinal value. And there is no person who is useless. What we lack is the enabler. So in that time, the person from the indigenous community, Katepurti, he was the enabler. The person with the R&D lab, they were the enabler. And we have Mr. N.D. Rao, who was the one behind the beneficiation of chromite mine. He was also one of the enablers. And that's the success story of beneficiation in India. The story also moves towards the other part of the world also. So in 1996, Western Australia came out with two different acts. One was Iron Ore Beneficiation Agreement Act, and Iron Ore Direct Reduced Iron Agreement Act, 1996. And BHP came with a project in Budari, and Rio Tinto came with a project in Kwinana. Many factors associated with that, the project could not come up. But then there are success stories also with Alcoa on aluminum and Tronox on sand minerals. And as previous speakers were mentioning about Goa versus eastern part of India. So Goan minings were a bit ahead in processing. They have magnetic separator much before, or hydrocyclone much before the eastern part of the India. And in Goa also we have seen the two deposits which are very close. One case, magnetic separator worked out, in other it doesn't. And Dr. Mukherjee was asking on a very particular point of mineral characterization study. So what we should try to do from learning from the different success stories and failures, that each deposit is different, and we need to have a customized approach depending upon the different beneficiation techniques what we have to make better use of it. In words of Wasim Barelvi, हर शख्स दौड़ता है भीड़ की तरफ, फिर चाहता है कि रास्ता भी अलग मिले. So if you want to have your own path, don't just follow the crowd. Try to know the deposit, what you have, and then customize a mineral beneficiation technology depending upon the minerals. So in recent times, what other speakers have also mentioned, that a lot of AI and machine learning also has come, apart from the technology of spirals or magnetic separator. So long short-term memory, convolutional neural networks, support vector machine, deep learning algorithm. These are some of the algorithms which are being used by the different beneficiation companies, and Rio Tinto has also worked on copper new wave in a copper project in USA. Of late, what we have seen that many mining institutes, they have started producing or people are graduating from mineral processing. But if you see in the industry, they either switch to maintenance engineer or the operation engineers. Probably we do not have a cadre or career progression plan of mineral processing engineers, and that was also being talked about by the speakers, that we need to have expertise of people, those who understand or those who know the enablers. And industry must make a career progression plan or a different career path for mineral processing engineers so they can continue in this field and come out with better expertise. Bhagavad Gita also says that Shreyam Sarvadharma Viguna Paradharmat Swarnishchitat. It's better to do your own job with little imperfection rather than doing other person's job with perfection. So mineral processing engineer, what has, because of the regions, they moved towards maintenance or operations and left their own core job. And that's why when we say that we need expertise or we need people who are good in mineral processing, probably industry has to introspect and reflect. With this background, I would like to thank, first of all, Bhardwaj Saab. He brought out many points for the industry. He emphasized on critical minerals, and we should refocus our work, how we can make mining of these critical minerals viable. He also emphasized on the geopolitical scenario which emerges out of the critical minerals. Relook at the policy response. This is a job he has assigned to ICC. He also emphasized on how we can unlock the value from the tailings. He gave example of Kolar Goldfield. A startup, R&D, and how the industry should come out with the research proposal, not on the passion, but on the demand-supply dynamics. He mentioned the Amrit Kal period and urged everyone who are here to utilize or take use of this Amrit Kal period, come out with the new process, new thinking, new ways, and new thoughts. He mentioned a very particular point: trust begets trust, and we need to be transparent of what we report and transparent in the discussions what we do with the policymakers. Thank you very much, sir, for your thoughts and your vision. Mr. Jindal, while in welcome address, he emphasized on incentivizing the beneficiation, promoting beneficiation of BHJ and BHQ, alumina content in iron ore, and how we can have improved technology. Thank you, Mr. Jindal, for highlighting those points. Dr. Mohan, while he was online, but then he also gave example of Hati gold tailings, deeper property, and leaner grade. This was the mantra he gave, that as we are progressing towards in the mining from the last history, we are going to have a deeper deposits as well as leaner grade. He also brought iron ore story of Goa and trends in the mineral beneficiation and new ways to produce critical minerals. So thanks to Dr. Mohan also. Mr. Chaurasia, he emphasized on slurry pipeline, trade-off between blending and beneficiation, and the different projects he is taking of different corporates and companies. Thank you, Mr. Chaurasia. Dr. Mukherjee, he emphasized on characterization report, bench scale, pilot scale plant, expertise in mineral beneficiation, and also to look forward on the sustainability aspects of the mineral beneficiation. With this, I thank all the dignitaries on the days. But when there are speakers, there should be some listeners also. Otherwise, who will speak? So I thank all the audience, those who are here, and for your patient hearing. Thank you very much.
And now, may I request Mr. Abudhay Jindal, Vice President ICC, to kindly hand over a token of appreciation to our chief guest, Shri Vivek Bharadwaj ji, Secretary, Ministry of Mines, Government of India. I would also request Mr. Abudha Jindal to kindly hand over a token of appreciation to all our speakers. To Mr. A.K. Mukherjee, to Mr. B.K. Mishra, to Mr. Pankaj Satija, and to Mr. S.K. Chaurasia. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for being with us. We'll break here for lunch. And I will request everyone to kindly join us back because we have a post-lunch session as well.